it's great to be around like-minded people that are trying to better themselves or purpose-driven. And so that's a big part of what I'm going to talk about today is some of that purpose-driven life. So let's talk a little bit about hormones. Hormones, biggest piece of the puzzle for foundational health. It starts with the hormones. After 25, our testosterone levels start dropping. And then around 50, they take another big plunge. So I'm about there. I'm going to be 50 in a couple months. But there's something, women go through menopause. I always say men go through menopause. But this is the people who suffer in silence. Right? These are the men who feel like shit. They can't keep their body mass up. Their sex drive's going down. Relationships are suffering. They can't be high performers in their jobs because their motivation's not like it used to be. They just don't have that edge that they used to have. You test them and their testosterone levels just in the crapper. Right? They've gone to their doctor, like I said, and the range of testosterone runs from 250 to 827 on the labs. So if you're at 250, your doctor will say, oh, you have normal testosterone. Normal testosterone really in a 25-year-old is around 900. Right? So, and there's no reason that I, as a 49-year-old, should have a testosterone at 250 and feel like crap and someone tell me that's normal because it's in the normal range. Right? So getting that hormone optimized has so many benefits. It's not just the immediate benefits of the increased energy, the ability to have effective workouts, to be more productive in your personal and professional life, to have better sleep, to have better mood. It's the long-term benefits, right? So protection from cardiovascular disease, protection from neurodegeneration, protection from osteoporosis. There's even studies now that show that may even protect you from prostate cancer, which 20, 30 years ago, they thought testosterone replacement caused prostate cancer, but there's been plenty of studies now that show that's not true. And in women too, the hormone balance, super important. I mean, women sometimes even come to me and they're like, my doctor, I told him I feel like crap, he put me on an antidepressant. And so you test them, you get them on hormones, and everything changes for them. So this is foundational, right? It's foundational. So everything else that we talked about, sleep and gut health and all that stuff, it's great. But if you don't have the hormones to actually have the cellular processes and the physiologic reserve that you need to have all that stuff make sense, it's not going to work as well. And as men, as we, like for me, I've been on testosterone for a couple years now, and like I don't have to work out that hard. And just on a side note, when you're talking about working out, what's better, cardio or strength training? What do you guys think? Strength training? Strength? Okay, so there's actually a study that came out that looked at this. And so people that only did strength training, they actually did have a big reduction in mortality, about 9 to 22%. People that did cardio had a reduction of 24 to 34%. So on that level, yes. But when you combine the strength training and the cardio together, their mortality risk reduction was almost 47%. Okay. So, and I'm not talking about 2 hours of cardio. Okay. Have you guys heard the 30-30-30? Right? So wake up in the morning, 30 minutes of sunlight, 30 minutes of cardio, 30 grams of protein. Okay? Not that hard. And in fact, if you get up early, you can get your red light from the sun. If you go out in your yard naked, you get 5:36 in the morning. That's when all the red lights coming from the sun. Let's go. So, or you can do it in the evening time around dusk. So dawn and dusk is when we get all of our red light. That's when all of our ancestors got all of their red light. It was when they were outside, but we're not outside anymore. Which is another reason everybody's vitamin D deficient, because nobody's outside. My vitamin D was so bad I was having bone pain. I had to go on vitamin D, and luckily I caught.
Vitamin D supplements help much?
Yes, but they have to be with K2.
Okay.
So vitamin D3, K2. Vitamin D3 helps absorb the calcium. K2 helps get it into the bone. But vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it's a hormone. So vitamin D governs a lot of our hormonal function as well. It also governs a lot of our mental health and a lot of our gut health. Vitamin D is one of the most important vitamins that we can be taking. So whenever I test guys for hormones, I always test their vitamin D levels, and you'll be surprised how many guys are deficient. Surprisingly, there's an epidemic of vitamin D deficiency in California, which is one of the sunniest states. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you're outside a ton, it would be good. But even those types of people, when I test them, their vitamin D levels may be close to normal. Like the range is from like 30 to, I think it goes to like 60, but I like to have my vitamin D levels up around 50, 60. Yeah.
Is that because you go outside fully clothed?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. We're not.
I
Yeah.
read a
Yeah.
study on that. You gotta go out
Yeah. You have to be naked. You got to be naked to get your red light. You got to be naked to get your vitamin D and everything else. Yeah.
You said it was vitamin D taken together with K2.
K2.
And
Yeah.
K2 was it K3 or just
No, just vitamin D3, K2.
What are common sources
You can't really, I mean, you can't deep leafy green vegetables, but really to get enough of it, you probably just better to supplement it. Yeah.
Would it affect you to take vitamin D if you have high levels of calcium in your system?
Yeah. So you have to be careful in people that have high calcium levels because then you can get kidney stones and that kind of stuff.